we go. Let's go ahead and get into it. Terrifier 2, Electric Boogaloo. All right, plot synopsis. All right, after being resurrected by a sinister entity, Art the Clown returns to the timid town of Miles County, where he targets a teenage girl and her younger brother on Halloween night. Directed by Damien Leone, starring everybody's favorite badass, David Howard Thornton, and Jenna Canal, a whole bunch of other badasses. We get a little cameo from Felissa Rose in here. But, I mean, David Howard Thornton kills it, completely murders, literally in the characters. He completely kills it as the character of Art. But the newcomer for us is Lauren Lavera, who plays the character of Serena. Sienna. Yo, she's the new shit. Okay? She's the new shit. I am on the bandwagon. I am on the Lauren bandwagon. Both of us are. And we'll get into that a little bit in a second here. So yeah, so we saw this. Halloween Ends came out last weekend, obviously, and Terrifier 2 came out the weekend before at selected theaters, and it did so well.
Yeah,
the fans positive feedback that they released it. You know, Sexy Sumo hit us up. Shout out to Sexy Sumo for taking us to the theater. He treated us. Thank you, brother.
We were losing hope that we were going to get to see it in the theater because the theaters in our area were only showing these at like 9:30 and 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And that was it. There were no earlier screenings. There was no that was it. There was only twice a night showtimes, and that was not in my wheelhouse. And weekends are like, well, I mean, maybe
it's tough.
Yeah.
Because of the schedules. And
so, but luckily we got another one showtime this week at night that we were able to hit up.
And this was a fuck it time. This was like now or never. Like 10:25 p.m. You're like, fuck it. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into it. So it was a small theater, but it was a packed theater.
It was a theater.
Good news with bad news. Go ahead.
Okay, so it was a theater that probably max could have held 50 to 55 people, and it probably held about 45.
It's still good.
I would have to guess. It was maybe, I think the very, very, very front row was not packed. It didn't have anybody in it. And there were about 3 seats in the back that didn't have anything. So I would guess there was maybe about 45 people in the theater. And so Sumo and his daughter were in front of us.
Right.
And
shout out to Annabelle.
You and I were right behind him.
Sumo, yes, keep going.
Everybody around us were making us feel like a bunch of psychopaths, essentially. Because from start to finish.
Hold on. Sumo, this badass. Thank you, brother.
Sure. So basically, from start to finish.
Yes, from start of the movie to the end.
To finish.
Yeah.
We're having a ball, laughing.
Oh yeah.
Like having fun with the gore.
Oh yeah.
All that
the dark humor, the batshit insanity.
Like having just a blast with Art the Clown and his ridiculous faces that he just I mean he's ridiculous to look at. His face is just hysterical.
David is the man. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the crowd is goddamn dead. Just dead. Now, Annabelle said that people next to her were kind of jumping a little bit, but aside from that, no reaction. Zero. Zilch. Absolutely nothing. And we're just sitting here like, is everybody, are you guys alive? You guys still with us? Like, hi? I mean, I was feeling psychotic laughing because I'm like, am I not supposed to be laughing at this?
No, like, fuck everybody else. I have 2 theories. 2 theories. One theory. We got the Halloween Ends crowd. The last show for Halloween Ends, They paid for tickets to go to Terrifier, and they were just sucked out. All their energy and life, their life force was sucked out after watching Halloween Ends, and then they came into Terrifier, sat down, and they were completely dead. My other theory is it's just not for them. You know, and this goes back to the question that was asked earlier. Is Art the Clown going to be up there with Freddy, Jason, and Chucky and Myers? And does he deserve to be there? Sure. I think he does. We don't have any new badass, original, and fun slashers anymore. We don't. That kind of get this kind of attention is what I mean. We don't. But so it's nice to see, and that's why we root for Art and we root for the filmmakers that make Terrifier movies. But let's be honest, this, you know, there's a gore and violence tolerance level. All right. And the casual audience that will go to see Jason, Halloween Ends, Freddy, and all that. Now we're hardcore fans of all those guys. We got posters, Blu-rays, figs. We're hardcore fans for life, right? But the casual audience can go to a Chucky movie and not have to worry about seeing the gore that they're about to see. That they saw from Terrifier 2. I think for the horror hardcore fan out there, this movie's made for them. And I feel, and they're celebrating. This movie's a triumph. This movie's a fucking triumph. And I'm so happy for all the filmmakers. Everybody worked really hard to make this movie. But I feel that the casual audience that just, I want to go out and see a scary. We liked It.
Well,
we saw the It.
But
hold on, I am an It person. We saw the It. So there's another scary clown movie out. Let's go see that. They're not ready.
and this is
they don't put it this way. This is a good example. I saw a post for people defending Halloween Ends. And if you like Halloween Ends, that's perfectly fine as long as you enjoyed it, you know. But we have to be honest on our channel when we get to that film. But they were defending the movie. They said that there was these two old women sitting next to them in the theater, and they were complaining and basically disgusted to the fact that all of the people that were in the theater were enjoying the kills and stuff like that. Now, that's Halloween Ends kills.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's Halloween Ends kills. They were repulsed by off-screen deaths.
Boy, do I have news for them. They would have had a heart attack.
Yes.
In Terrifier.
Yes.
So
yeah.
What kills me about the crowd that was with us is that there were tons of showtimes for Halloween Kills. We actually pulled up next to a group of maybe 6 or 7 people that had just gotten out of the theater. Now, our showtime for Terrifier 2 was it was 10:30. And they had just gotten out of the theater for Halloween Kills. Yeah. And they were talking about it. They were very lively. It sounded like some of them enjoyed it. Some of them didn't. But they seemed to have at least enjoyed being out and about. So my confusion really lied in our crowd with, what did you think you were there to see? When you selected Terrifier 2, which prominently features a giant picture of Art the Clown. And keep in mind, there's only one showtime for this film. One. Yeah. What exactly did you think? You couldn't have gone into this blind. Right. You deliberately chose this. Yeah. Now, if you've seen the first movie, that first movie is not tame. There's a flip over and in that movie. Okay, that movie is not tame. Now, to be fair,
that was adorable.
This movie kind of makes the first movie look like Child's Play. Right. Either the actual Child's Play movie or Child's Play the saying. Right. But what did you think you were choosing when you selected that movie? When you were saying, I wanted this ticket for this movie. Right. What did you think you were selecting? Yeah. Now, do you want us to tell the story about what happened, or do you want us to just get into the movie?
It's up to you.
Okay.
It's up to you. I mean, we have to do both.
I'll just tell the story.
It doesn't matter which order.
Now,
go ahead.
As we have alluded to, the kills in this movie are up to 11 and beyond 11. They're
I
The
could
knob,
say
the knob got cranked to 11 and then got broken off, and it got shoved up someone's ass, and then that person got thrown off a cliff, and then the cliff got tossed into the ocean, and then the planet that ocean resided on got thrown into another atmosphere.
I can
orbit.
confidently say
gone.
I have not seen every horror movie ever made this year, obviously. I can confidently say that the gore and the kills in this movie, there's no competition.
This
None.
movie is why
None.
this movie
None.
is why hardcore, and okay, say what you want about torture porn. Say what you want about hardcore gore. Okay, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, fine. It's not your cup of tea. Okay, if you don't like torture porn gore,
right?
Fine, you don't like it.
That's what's awesome about horror.
But this movie,
so many different versions of horror out there.
And the reaction that the audience had and didn't have is why movies like this can't be released in theaters.
Yeah,
because the audience is just like they can't handle it
unless it's an audience of hardcore horror fans,
which obviously we weren't there.
No,
it was just
we
us.
were there.
It was just us.
Yeah,
they weren't there with us.
Yeah.
So the gore in this movie is so off the charts.
Right in the beginning.
Yes.
In the beginning, we are not leading up to it. Yes. It's right in the beginning of the movie, man.
And now there was a couple, a young couple sitting right next to us. And when we first came in, you know, the really young girl was curled up next to her boyfriend because of the reclining seats. And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, I saw the first Terrifier. It was good." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that's interesting." Kind of hinting that, well, the girl hasn't seen the first Terrifier if he's telling her that. And I'm thinking, oh boy, sir, what were you thinking bringing her to this movie?
Yeah.
Like, someone's not getting it tonight. Okay,
Yeah.
Someone's not getting tonight. And so again, the movie's progressing. The kills are getting, you know, progressively more entertaining and interesting throughout the movie,
and over the top and insane. Yeah.
And again, each one you get a decapitation,
they're memorable.
A full blown, like, no cutaway.
Nope.
No, implied decapitation. No, you see the prosthetic with the neck and the chop and the no, you see it. Okay. And as the movie's plugging along,
hope you guys are enjoying this. Thumbs up the video, like the video.
At one point, I don't know, was it a little more than halfway through the movie when the mom gets the shotgun blast?
It was towards the end because it happened when.
So it was more than halfway through.
The character of.
Yeah.
Sienna.
Yeah.
The character of Sienna.
Well, yeah, they're out and about.
Hold on. Are we back, guys? It looks like we froze there for a second. Let me know before we keep talking. Can you see us? Let me know if you can see us.
We're playing here, so.
Okay. All right.
So you know, more than halfway through the movie, after a lot of shit's gone down.
Yeah.
The mom character gets shotgun blasted to the face.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Shotgun blast.
Shotgun blasted to the face. And all of a sudden, apparently, that was the tipping point.
For some reason, there was so much more crazy gore before that. And they stayed through all of that. But as soon as the mom got shot in the face.
But apparently, that was just too goddamn much. And the couple next to us went, peace out. They left, never came back.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, again, throughout everything that's happened in this film, the audience is just nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Again,
they're not horror. They're casuals. They're not horror hardcore fans. That's all it is.
I was like, what did you?
Yeah, when this premiered at other theaters of horror hardcore fans, they erupted, they cheered, they laughed. There was a reaction. But they're hardcore horror fans. You know, they can like the stuff that gets shown in the theaters that casuals can enjoy, but then they can also enjoy the hardcore stuff. So, you know, but yeah, they bounced, they left, and we were internally laughing.
Yeah.
Because we were just like, wow, really?
Yeah.
After all you've seen already, That was what made you leave.
You missed the mashed potatoes.
You missed the mashed potato scene. Yeah. You know what? I wanted to talk spoilers about the kills and everything, but I don't know. I think we should leave some. I don't know. Should we not talk?
No, we don't have to.
Yeah, let's leave some mystery so you guys are interested in checking it out. We will spoil the plot though, because you have some theories.
I do.
But let's lead up to it really quick.
Yeah.
So hold on a second. So
I mean,
right off the bat, David kills it. Absolutely kills it.
Literally.
As art. And go ahead and go into a little bit more of the plot, more than what the IMDb said.
Surprisingly, so if you remember the end of the first movie, it ends with him in the coroner's office in the body bag, and it's implied that he just pops back up to life, and he goes after the coroner, right?
Yeah.
And then
it fucks him up, man.
So in this one, yeah, it picks up right with that. And he immediately begins dismembering the coroner, replaces his lost eye with the coroner's eye.
He's just fucking with him.
He's got like the hole in his head from when he blew his brains out in the first movie.
Yeah.
And he's like fucking with that.
Good night, Eric. Have a good one. Yeah.
But yeah, he fucks up.
He fucks him up and then leaves.
Yeah.
So keep in mind at this point in the lore, something sinister resurrects Art. We don't know what yet. We don't know yet. This, in terms of plot synopsis, especially by the end of the movie, Art gets resurrected again in the most batshit hilarious and crazy way, which may turn off some people.
Yeah.
But we are dealing with a movie that's not just a slasher. We're dealing with a series that's not just a slasher. This series, Terrifier and Terrifier 2, we are dealing with a fantasy horror slasher.
Yeah.
That's what we have here. Fantasy, okay? Supernatural horror slasher. That's what this is. If you guys are okay with that, and can watch the movie with that going and knowing that, then the crazy, insane, over-the-top batshit moments that happen later in the movie, you'll most likely be fine with it.
Yeah, so this movie did not opt to just make the first Terrifier movie all over again.
Right.
This movie didn't do that, where it's just, he just goes out and starts killing people again, and you don't know anything. He's just some crazy guy that just, goes out and picks some random people.
Just another slasher flick.
Yeah. It doesn't do that.
Right.
But you need to be prepared. Like I said, not only do the kills go off, not only do the kills go off the rails, but the movie itself goes off the actual rails, and it just, you think you're going, and then it just goes, nope, and just gone.
Yeah.
Just gone into outer space. Just, I wouldn't be surprised if Art ends up in outer space at some point in the next movie. Yeah. Just absolutely off the rails.
I would, Severio, I would watch the first film. It's on Tubi. The first film is on Tubi. Tubi, right?
Oh no,
Freevee. Freevee. The first movie's on Freevee, guys. You can watch it for free. The first Terrifier.
It would be better to have a frame of reference to see the first movie.
Thank you. My name is Jefferson. Thank you so much for the super chat. You rock, man. Thank you.
But yeah, the first movie is good to have a frame of reference and to know what you're in for.
You get introduced to Art.
Yeah, it's a good groundwork because it does wrap around by the end of the second movie
with a character from the first.
Yeah, and there's mention of things that happen in the first movie that come into play in the second movie.
Right.
So I would say yes, it would be better. It would be better if you saw the first movie first.
But we're introduced to this family.
Yes.
Yeah.
The mom, the older sister, and the younger, very, very, very awkward, very bad actor brother. I'm sorry. He kind of sucks.
All right.
But luckily, the actress who plays Sienna makes up for it.
Okay.
So
she's so good. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And you get a feel for who Sienna is really quickly. She's like making this costume.
Mm-hmm.
You later find out that it's a costume based off of this character that her dad created. Her dad was like this visual artist that Drew all the time, and there's like this hint of something that happened to him, and later on you find out what happened to him.
Yeah.
And there's this odd connection between him and Art. It's not entirely clear what that connection is.
It's like up to this point, the only thing you know is that the father saw visions. He was able to see things.
Right.
He doodled things in his notebook.
And one of those things,
and some of those things he doodled in his notebooks were kills from the first film.
And one of those things was,
and Art.
Yes.
He doodled, as well as the avenging warrior character
right.
that he was trying to create for his daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
And you also find out that the dad
and then the dad died.
Ended up with a brain tumor.
Right.
And
right.
the visions got worse.
Right.
He got worse. He became abusive to the family, and especially Sienna. And then he lost his mind, ended up putting himself into a car accident, and he burned in a fire, and
right.
yada yada yada. Just
Right.
So it. Yeah. Go ahead.
But
no, go ahead.
No, I'll take care of it. You keep going.
Oh.
Talking about the family and what's going on.
So yeah, you get a feel for the family. The brother is kind of obsessed with Art the Clown.
Right.
And the sister is like talking to the mom, like, hey, you gotta get worried about him every once in a while. Like, he's really obsessed. He, it seems like,
yeah,
should probably keep an eye on him.
Right.
All this kind of stuff. And some things go down with him, and it's hard to explain because so much shit goes down.
It's a lot, it's a lot of stuff happening.
Because at one point, at the very beginning of the movie, Art goes to a laundromat and he sees this little girl.
After he kills the coroner.
He goes straight to a laundromat to clean his uniform. He sees this little evil mini Art girl clown.
Yeah.
Okay. She starts playing with him.
Yeah.
But it's established that only Art can see her because there's another guy in the laundromat.
Yeah.
And he can't see her.
Right.
But he can see Art, obviously, because Art's there.
Right.
But he can't see the little girl. And it looks like
Art's just playing patty cake with nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this little clown girl becomes a thing.
Right.
Well, later on, when Art and the clown girl end up at the boys' school, the boy sees both of them.
Right.
Okay. And later on, Sienna sees the clown girl also.
Right.
Which again rolls back into this weird, why can they see the little clown girl and Art can see the little clown girl? Again, very odd goings on in this movie. Okay. It's very, okay. This movie is bonkers. Okay?
Right.
And it's hinted that little girl, the dad was taking clippings of, like, he had a newspaper clipping of that little girl and her disappearance. And it's mysterious. And,
the dad was seeing all kinds of shit.
Right.
Which might lead to some interesting theories that she'll might talk about a little bit later. But you find out later the girl was murdered, and throughout the film she's a spirit that's tagging along with Art here, basically trying to look at that shot, so fucking great. Look at that fucking shit. Basically to help prevent the coming of the avenging angel who will stop them. That's kind of the easiest way to explain what's happening.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to talk about.
More or less.
And we only have a certain amount of time to talk, because I know eventually we want to get to the next movie.
And again, so much happens in the movie that it's hard to talk about, because like things like psychosis is a running theme in the movie. The Sienna has this dream sequence that goes on for a really long time that at first I thought was like, okay, where are we going with this? But then that ends up wrapping around later.
Right.
And kind of makes a little more sense towards the end. And it just
it's a lot.
A lot of
a lot
of bizarre shit.
Right.
Just goes on.
In
this movie.
But the brother is obsessed with Art, and he even tells his sister, the mother doesn't want to hear anything. She's just like, she tried to throw away the sketchbook.
She wants to put the brother in therapy and on pills.
Yeah. So she's no help.
Sienna's on pills, like, it's
and the brother tells Sienna, like, look, they have not found Art's body. He could still be out there. But he became so obsessed with Art that at some point he was trying to dress up as him for Halloween. Of course, that didn't work out. But then, especially after Sienna started having these nightmares of Art, And in this dream here, she ends up pulling out a sword that her dad bought her. That there's something special about this sword. And she pulls it out in the dream to fight against Art. And then that's when she snaps up and wakes up. And in her room, half of her room starts to, go on, get on fire. So that kind of freaks her out. Ever since she's had this nightmare, slowly but surely, she's been getting these bad vibes about Art coming after her. Maybe she's going to run into him. Maybe Art's still alive. And then we have this hilarious scene. This is one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Man, nobody, no reaction.
Dude,
Like,
Sexy Sumo, Lady Phatblood, we're busting up. We were laughing our asses off. But yeah, Sienna, she's trying to make this costume. Her costume gets caught on fire. Excuse me.
She had these angel wings that she had made
Right.
part of the costume.
Right.
They got completely burned, and so she has to go to a Halloween shop at the last minute and find a new pair of
Right. Yeah. And while she's there getting a new pair of wings, Art just walks in and
starts fucking with her.
Oh my God, it's fucking hilarious. And then we get such a good kill after that. Not Sienna, but the owner of the store. But it's so good. It's so good. But she thinks that it's just some guy dressed up as Art because there's that legend in the town. You know what I mean? There may be other people dressing up as Art for Art. She doesn't think this is the real Art the clown fucking with her. But to make a long story short, she decides, so you know what? I didn't want to go to the party alone, but fuck it. Oh no, that's the other movie. I'm sorry. She goes to the party with her friends. Well, one of her friends kind of gets fucked up a little bit.
Well, because it was supposed to be, she was going to a party with two of her friends, but one of the
friends.
Oh
my God.
In one of the most brutal kill, which
dude,
I wouldn't be surprised because I've been hearing that people have been throwing up and walking out of the theater. This was probably the one.
Dude.
And this was the applause worthy, like the director,
dude,
because he also did the special effects.
Dude.
Bravo.
Dude.
Bravo. Like, sir, the animatronics, the makeup effects on this kill,
holy
on the friend,
shit,
unbelievable. Like, especially by the end, the animatronics that they had to use.
Dude, it was so good. Friend, me and her were like, holy shit, that's fucking dope.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
We were like, by the time
she gets it bad.
By the time
this character
Art
gets
was
it bad.
done with this character, we were just like, oh, die already. Please die already. Like, oh my God. Lady, just die.
I think this is the kill that they said is the one that they feel they topped more than the Saw one.
Sure, why not?
But yeah, it was. I mean, the movie was already gory as hell, and then we get to that scene. It's like, holy shit!
And he had already.
But you can applaud.
And
the animatronic, the hard work, the makeup effects were so good in terms of filmmaking.
Yeah,
you can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Halloween Ends crowd we had just was fucking dead. It's so dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to the story.
So she goes to the party with the remaining friend, and the remaining friend's boyfriend is there, and she ends up slipping like half a Molly in her drink,
which was kind of funny.
And so Sienna's just like tripping and like just. Blah blah blah. You know,
that was a funny scene.
She's mollying out.
He slipped Molly in my drink, you bitch. But she's still smiling.
Yeah,
that was funny.
And she ends up after their little tiff, their little I hate you. I'm so mad at you, tiff. Yeah. She ends up getting a call from the brother. Keep in mind, the mom has been murdered.
Shotgun blast.
Yeah, and for some reason, Art has not killed. The brother, because again, there's this brewing showdown.
Mm-hmm. Well, he goes after him.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't kill him. He injects him with that thing to put him to sleep because he's trying to lure. He's trying to, for some reason, he's trying to lure
Sienna.
Yeah. And there's this thing of brewing between them.
Mm-hmm.
And
thing of brewing.
Yeah, he ends up luring her to this kind of like carnival area.
Right. Great setting.
Right.
Haunted house. Oh, so good. And the mazes and shit. Like it was a great setting. Oh, it's fucking great. Great location.
Right.
But yeah, it doesn't go well for her girlfriend. She gets it bad. Brutal, man. Just fucked up in the chest, everything. And then the boyfriend got his dick cut off. So it's stabbed several times in the dick, then cut off.
Yes.
Uh, but yeah, we finally, it finally leads up to the showdown, and I love how when she finds her friend, she's still looking for her brother. When she finds her friend, you know, she looks up and sees this motherfucker. And this is so great because, you know, when you're already invested in the movie, you're like, holy shit, here we go. It's about to go down. And this is where I really loved what Lauren did here. It wasn't just her acting performance, which is fucking amazing. Her acting performance, she looked like she was scared out of her goddamn mind. Like she was legitimately scared. And then later, she flips the switch and becomes fucking brutality rage. So this is why we were so impressed with her, because it wasn't just the acting, it was the physical performance that she gave. And man, yo, you guys, this was a fight. This was a fight. Art was not holding back. Art was whipping her. He was whipping her brother. The brother got, I think the brother should have died, but I know that probably would have been too much after the mom getting shotgun blasted to the dome. Let me tell you something. Art went full badass. And finally, when he started going after the brother, she switched. She switched and started to fight back, and it was fucking glorious. And it was just like, again, dealing with the supernatural fantasy element of the series. I mean, spike bat to the head, that didn't work. She impales a pole through his head like this. He's still alive. And he actually ends up, I'm surprised when he ended up stabbing her with the sword her dad gave her. Mm-hmm. And then it looks very artsy, but you can assume she kind of went to hell. She temporarily went to hell,
which ended up wrapping around back to her dream that she had earlier.
Right.
And it was the remnants of the dreamscape where she had this bizarre dream that was based on kind of like this commercial that she had fallen asleep to.
Yeah.
And the characters in the dream had been murdered by Art.
Right.
And they were all left kind of dead in this dream, and she's slowly drowning.
Right.
In this hell, tank, in this version of hell for her.
She's slowly dying.
And as their brother is being killed by Art, finally
being eaten, he's trying to eat him.
Yes. As you do, as Art does.
Yeah.
He calls out for her.
Right.
And that in 80s fashion, the dagger wound lights up in like an 80s effect.
Yeah.
And the
sword lights up too.
Yeah. And she has this thing attached to her leg.
And then you start hearing the Wonder Woman theme song. You know.
And she like rips off the thing that's holding her leg down, that's keeping her drowning in the water, and she claws her way back up from hell, and she is reborn fully into this warrior character that she was destined to become.
Oh, and
that her father created for
she
her.
Fucks him up, and her performance and acting, I was feeling it. You know, I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah. Sorry, it's been a while since I watched the movie, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Well, okay, MKF30 is that. So Art is like Leatherface and Hannibal now eating people. Remember, he was eating the face of the lady in the first movie.
That's
so
right. He's been eating.
He's been eating people.
But yeah, it gave me the fuck yeah. And I love how she kept hacking him right here. And he was fucked. And then she came around for the final, there will be only one blow. And he looks at her. He's just kind of like acknowledges her. He's like, you fuck, you got me, bitch. Right. And then he goes, all right, go ahead and finish it. It's fucking hilarious. Boom, slicey dice, head flies off. And then the little girl comes out. She's not happy. That was her new friend. So she takes his head and walks away. And then, you know, the Sienna and her brother for now live happily ever after. And then we go to the asylum where we meet up with this character from the first movie again.
Right.
Go ahead and tell.
And so if you remember in the first movie,
oh my
she
God.
was the victim that survived.
Right.
but at some point she did snap, and she did attack the interviewer.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
And in the second movie, they keep talking about how the interviewer is in critical condition and how she really got fucked up. Well, in this movie, you revisit this character in the loony bin.
Yeah.
And the nurse that's attending to her is saying how, she's really quiet and unobtrusive, like consider all things considered, and all the things that we've heard about her. But you go to her cell, and all this blood's coming out from between her legs, and she's like writing something on the wall. And are we just gonna say what happened?
Well, yeah. Okay. I mean, like, so art again, by means we don't know yet, just eval entity gets resurrected again.
So you pan down to her stomach, because she writes art plus her name. I forgot her name already.
Oh my God.
Art plus her name on the wall. And you see her stomach is fully bloated. And you're like, well, wait, that doesn't make any sense, because Art clearly didn't do anything to her except for eat her face off.
Yeah.
And then the nurse is like scrambling to get into the room with her.
Yeah.
And you see all this just viscera and giblets come out of her.
Giblets.
And it's Art has now been reborn through her as an Art the Clown baby head.
Because now I'm surprised nobody walked up and left during that scene. I'm surprised that wasn't the scene.
I mean, at that point.
See, this is a movie where, I mean, this is a franchise where, again, the first movie, it ended with him shooting himself in the head. But by means we don't know yet, he was resurrected. He came back to life. Right? So, again, the kills go off the rails in a great way, and the movie goes off the rails in a batshit but entertaining way.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking like, this is along the lines of Nightmare on Elm Street 4, when the dog pisses fire and resurrects Freddy Krueger. This is the same. Yeah. It's the same damn thing.
Yeah,
it's
fuck it.
It doesn't make sense. No.
Yeah.
Do I care? No.
Nope.
Was I entertained? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was entertained.
Dog randomly pissing fire, like, bringing Freddy back. Fuck it.
And the movie, like, again, the first thing you see from when Art sees the little girl is she's sitting on a chair looking at him all creepily and smiling, and all this black bile diarrhea just comes out from between her legs.
Just takes a dump. She had to go.
Yeah.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
That's the first thing you see from that little girl. It's like, okay.
And that wasn't what made the couple get up and leave.
No. But yeah, so the movie, it's batshit in a way that it's like, see, this is when you're gonna change up your formula that you've established,
right?
And you're gonna take bits of homages. Like, again, I love the soundtrack.
Oh, music's great. Oh my God!
Like I said in the past, I'm kind of over the '80s retro scores because it's just been done to death, and I'm just like, if it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
But if it's there just for the sake of it being there, I'm over it.
Right.
But the way they did this, even though it wasn't set in the 80s, the way they did this, I loved it.
It's great. Really good.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Just the way they just took something that could have been so one note, and so we do the same thing over and over for the sequel, and they just said, no, we're just going to do something completely different. It's like, I had to respect it.
Yeah.
I had to respect just how different this movie was.
Yeah.
Did it always make sense? No. But it's like, that's kind of the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that you can just, this is their world.
Yeah.
This wasn't like Hellraiser, where Hellraiser originally had its own established rules. And what they chose to do was take some of those rules and then make their own. And then their own set of rules didn't really make sense, and I was like, I don't know about this. This one, this is their own world.
Yeah.
And they can kind of do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I think that's why I forgive this movie more for it just being like,
yeah,
just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can.
Batshit insane, but so much fun.
I can absolutely see why this is not a mainstream movie.
Right.
I can see it's like Art deserves to be among the pantheon of like the icons. He deserves to be there, but it's hard because he's too hardcore.
Yeah.
The movies are too hardcore.
And I feel, some horror fans out there probably will want him to make one more movie, a good 3-part trilogy, and then they probably feel that he probably deserves to be up there. But in terms of horror slasher icons, I think he's already there. Maybe not in a mainstream status.
Maybe for the underground crew,
Yeah, but this right here, Donnie here, did you see this? The movie made 1.22 million.
That's good,
dude.
That's good.
That's really good.
Yeah,
that's like really good for a movie like
times,
this. Yeah, for a movie like this, yeah.
Like I said, 2 showtimes per day.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
1 showtime per day this week.
Right.
For our area. Which,
right.
But
yeah, just it gave us. We have an entertaining antagonist that's like no other. There's no one else like Art right now. We had such a fantastic lead. She was so good and just amazing. There's nothing else this year, I'm telling you, for a horror slasher, a horror fantasy slasher flick. There's nothing else. The kills are top notch. Nothing will beat this movie this year in terms of horror kills. It's just on another level, especially when you're adding, what was it? The mechanical, what was it? Animatronics to your fucking kill. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
But yeah, loved it. Let's go ahead and rate this. What are you giving Terrifier 2, Electric Boogaloo?
Oh, okay. Now remember, folks.
D-.
Remember, folks. This is not for everybody. This is not.
And we explain that, yeah.
It's not. This is not an easily digestible, fun.
For everybody. For us, yes, we're fine. We were fine.
Again, it's so bonkers that I get. If you're not fine with it, I get it.
It's fine. Yeah.
But it's another easy A for me.
Boom.
Yeah,
yo.
It's too out there, and I respect it. It's just
yeah.
It's just too much fun.
Nice. A for Lady Phatblood, and I'm getting an A too. It just for the slasher horror fantasy that it is, it delivers. Just absolutely loved it. The practical effects and the kills are outstanding and rival big budget, gigantic AAA horror films that are out right now.